Good afternoon, everyone. We are here with another highly awaited episode of the Mech-E-Meet series, where we interact with the successful alumni of our college and conduct a valuable session of learning for all. I, Aditya Das Gupta, am your host for the fourth episode of the series. We have with us today Mr. Shivam Raj as our guest personality. Sir has pursued his BTech degree in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, BIT Sindri. He was a part of the 2K18 batch. He is currently pursuing his master's in business administration from the prestigious IIM Bangalore. Good afternoon, sir. Let us start with the interview now.
Good afternoon, Aditya and team.
Okay, sir. Before diving into the horde of questions which we have for you, we would like to know your story of BIT and the best memory of your college life.
First of all, I would like to thank you guys for inviting me in this episode, this Mech-E-Meet episode. So when we started Mech Engineering Society, we used to invite our alums, and now coming to this meet as an alum feels really great and honored and humbled. So thank you very much for this honor. So your question was my story of BIT.
Yes, sir.
I enjoyed it. So I'll quote one. I'll say one quote from the office that you know that you're in the good old days when you've actually left them. So just that is what I would like to say about BIT. And the best memory every that I spend with my friends is a good memory at BIT. So to be very honest, the start years were tough. Adjusting to the BIT environment, I came as a kid and I left BIT as a man. So it changed me a lot. So starting from the fests, the technical fest, and so 2 years were COVID. So that was quarantine. But like every memory from the fest, from the Sandan and that Foice event, and so every event, like I enjoyed every bit of BIT. The final year was especially really great. You feel great as a final year student at BIT. Everyone knows, everyone calls you sir and stuff like that. So every moment of final year, the final year hostel life, late night parties or enjoyments, whatever you call it, with the friends and all those learning projects, stuff like that. It's really amazing. It's good. Yeah.
Okay, sir. As you mentioned that you were a part of three different clubs. So how did you balance between all of these clubs along with your studies and the preparation for the CAT exam?
Yeah. So to be very honest, I would say that clubs actually in a way helped me in my CAT preparation. So for the first club that I joined was LS, and I developed the reading habit at LS, as I mentioned. So reading is a very important thing when you're preparing for CAT life. So in a way that helped me. Also, of course, all those stuff that leadership and management skills. Also, I would say that the CAT preparation actually starts around third year or so. So you're not really the post bearers around the third year. You have some minor work, so you can actually focus on your studies more rather than on clubs. So that strategy I followed. Like when the time was approaching for CAT, I actually focused more on studies because I was not the post bearers on of more clubs. Uh, so I was post bearer of I guess only one club. So that happened. Also, you have to manage your time. So you have to prioritize that. I focused a lot on clubs too. I was the post bearer in clubs. I focused on studies too, and you have to maintain a balance. So that's how you do it. Prioritization, scheduling, I would say. Yeah.
Now we have some questions from the students which were asked on our social media platforms. So the first question is from Atushri Das. What was the reason of joining a B school? And which phase of your engineering did you actually begin for preparing CAT?
So the reason of joining B school, to be very honest, I did not like engineering very much when I was reading engineering, studying engineering. I was part of various clubs, and I actually spent a lot of time exploring different things. That is my nature. Like I read random stuffs, and someday I was reading this finance and all these stuffs, and so like it really attracted my interest. It was way back in first year or second year, I would say. I was like, I want to do something in these things, and also club management and all those stuff. So I was like, no, I'm more interested in the management things than in the engineering stuff, than the technical aspects. So I realized that I was more interested in selling a product than manufacturing a product. So that happened, and that's how I developed my interest in management. So there are two things. First is experience, the management experience, leadership experience, whatever that I got from the clubs and society. Second was my exploration of a different domains. Like I also like explored humanities, philosophy, and stuff. I was like, yeah, I like that, but as a career, this is not the choice for me. As a career, management is the better choice for me. So that's how I decided that I want to pursue management. It was in my mind since second year. So I was oriented in a way towards CAT and MBA. So I knew you have to know that what do you want to do. You should have a clarity that do I want to work in a core job, or do I want to work in an IT job, or do I want to pursue higher education? So that clarity is very important. If you're in second year, it's maybe too early, but if you're in the early third year, you have to ask yourself, like, what do I want to do? You should not be ambiguous. Ki, jo hoga, I'll see wherever I'll land a job. So it was to me, it was clear that I want to do an MBA. If in case I don't get an MBA job, I want to get into IT analytics. That was clear in my mind. So I always focused my studies towards management. So the second part was, when did I start my preparation?
Yes, sir.
So I started my preparation. I would say, see, CAT preparation is not. Everyone says that CAT preparation is a 6 month preparation, but in reality, it's preparation. You are always preparing for CAT. When you are reading, you are preparing for CAT. When you are solving problems, you are preparing for CAT. When you are, I don't know, when you are reading news in a way, you are preparing for the interviews of CAT. So I started reading way back. So reading was important. So when I was in second year, I always used to read, and I did not strictly followed the syllabus of CAT when I was in second year. But yeah, I knew that reading is important, so I focused more on the reading skills in my second year. When I came to third year, fifth semester, I would say November, December time, November, December 2020, I started preparing for CAT, like proper preparation, following the syllabus and stuff. And it's enough. 7, 8 months preparation is more than enough or to cover the syllabus. But you have to have a habit of regular reading. So that I would suggest for anyone in second year, focus on reading, getting to know whatever is happening around you. And third year, November, fifth semester, you start preparation for the CAT. November.
So as you
Yeah,
said that reading is the important factor. So there's a common doubt which I've personally encountered, that reading novels or reading articles,
both
which
works.
is
Both works. You should not worry too much about these stuff. Both works. When you are starting to read, you can go with novels. You can go with novels, like easy novels, whatever you want, whatever you like. Like I started with astronomy novels. I started with Stephen Hawking because I did not like all those fiction and stuff. I liked science at that time, so I started with Stephen Hawking. But eventually, I developed my reading habit and I started reading everything. So it both works. You should not limit yourself that read articles, read novels. Novels will find interesting. You learn a lot of stuff from books. Articles, it would keep yourself updated with the news, the happenings around the world, some abstract concept that you won't find in a book and stuff like that. So yeah, so both works, whatever you prefer. But during the time of preparation of CAT, focus more on 600 words passages. How fast can you read and comprehend it? So that's the thing.
okay, sir.
Yeah.
We have a question from Raghavendra. What were the difficulties you faced in your CAT preparation?
So there are a lot of difficulties. I was actually preparing by myself. I did not take any coaching. So the biggest problem that you find when you are preparing yourself, like you are preparing without any coaching, is that you would miss certain tips and tricks. Like some question will come and it would have some trick involved that you don't. Then you have to trace back and just read everything again. Like what am I missing? That is one thing. And I guess the biggest problem that we as final year students face in the CAT preparation is the dilemma. That whether is the dilemma of in October, September, November, that time, just 2 months prior to CAT exams. This is the biggest dilemma that everyone faces. That should I continue with my CAT preparation or should I go for placement? Should I sit for placement? So, so when CAT was approaching, various companies came. Like lot of companies came, and everyone was like sitting in this company, that company, and if you are trying for a company, you have to halt your CAT preparation. That is a thing. And at that time, almost at the end, if you are not preparing for CAT and if you are just switching to placements, uh, it could have devastating effect on your results of CAT. So that is the biggest dilemma that I faced, my friends faced who were preparing for CAT, and most of you will most probably face, because your friends who are not preparing for CAT, they would be getting placed. They would be getting packages, and you almost have this fear that what should I do? Should I go for CAT? Because you are like, अगर नहीं हुआ CAT में तो what would I do? And placements में like you are like, चलो We can take placement. MBA is anyway better after experience. So this is the dilemma you would face. And in dilemma, you are not able to do both the things. Like, taking a
Yes.
placement also becomes difficult, and clearing CAT also becomes difficult. So you should have a clarity of mind that what do I want to do? Do I want to sit for placements, or do I want to go for CAT? So I was lucky. I would say I was lucky. Deloitte came, and even I was deviated at Deloitte. So I sat for Deloitte, and I actually got placed. So, so that was in September. So I had time for preparation. But if you are not getting placed in September, October, November, lots of companies are coming. So of course, and two, one more thing, that if you are not placed, if you are preparing for CAT, you should protect yourself from the FOMO that I also should get a placement first.
Yes, sir.
So, and if you are placed, then you should keep yourself calm. Ki nahi, CAT is still left. I should not waste this time after my placement. I have to continue my preparation of CAT. So these things you guys should focus on. This is, I think, one of the most difficulties, a dilemma that you would face. And rest, how, what preparation, that you're stuck with a question, those stuffs you can manage with your coaching now. Because this is something that you have to wonder on and wonder now, that what do I want to do? I'm a CS about my CAT preparation. Do I want to get a place? Or do I want to do both? Because doing both is very difficult. That you should, everyone, anyone who's listening, within second year, third year, whatever, you should ask yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The next question is from Diksha Sinha. Does
Yeah.
enrolling for an online course a year before benefits, or taking online tests is enough before the exam?
Yeah. So course and guidance is always better. Trust me, it's always better. Self preparation is not an easy thing. And if you can afford it, I always suggest go for a course. If you are serious, if you can afford it, always go for a course. Because as I mentioned, Naki, if you are preparing by yourself, you would always miss something. Some concept you would miss, whatever you do, because online not every, like, free resources are available, but that is not in a very, linear manner, like every one topic after another. You'd always miss something, and questions will come from that topic that you miss, and there would be some concept that you didn't know, or some trick that would have saved a lot of time for you. So coaching is always good. Test, as she asked, test is must. Even if you are doing coaching or you're not doing coaching, doesn't matter. Test is a must, because I would say that my preparation was greatly benefited by mocks. I would not have scored anything if it were not for mocks. I learned a lot from mocks, like what mistakes am I making, how to improve my time. I learned various concepts during mocks. Like, there were, I used to give mocks, and then there were video solutions. There were a lot of questions that I didn't know, and when I watched the solutions, like this trick that tutor used to have some trick, and I was like, yeah, let's note this. So a lot of tricks I learned during my mocks. A lot of tricks I learned during my mocks, and that actually came quite handful in the CAT exam. So mocks is a must, and yes, coaching is also a great act. So you should go for coaching and mocks. Yeah.
Okay, sir. We have a question from Kushagra Kaushal. How much does academic marks influence your selection in a top B school? And does involving in co-curricular activities enhance your profile?
Yeah, to be very honest, academic scores does matter in CAT. So if anyone is saying, if anyone says ki no, your academic score doesn't matter, they are talking about specific schools, some B schools. I'm talking about IMs, top IMs. They are talking about some IMs, because for most of the IMs, the academic score has weightage. So you should not think that, yeah, I don't want to do mechanical engineering, I don't want to do chemical engineering, I don't want to study CS, I would do CAT. So just let's pass somehow. I'll just pass and I'll write CAT and I'll get selected in top B school. No, you should focus on whatever you're studying. Whatever you're studying, you should try to get good grades. Grades does matter. Whether you are in MBA, before MBA, class 10th, class 12, your grades does matter. So focus on your grades. But don't be disappointed if you have average or bad grades in 10th or 12th. Don't be disappointed that I won't be get selected in any top school. There are some B schools that do not really focus on grades. There are some B schools that focus a lot on grades. For example, I am Bangalore is a very academic oriented college. It focuses a lot on grades. But there are some colleges that does not focus on too much on grade. So yeah, academic score does matter. But if you have average, don't be hopeless. What? There are B schools where you can get it to.
Yes, sir.
And what was the second part of the question?
Does involving in co-curricular activities enhance your profile?
Yeah. So see, selection criteria does not have any point for co-curricular activity, official selection criteria. But of course, in the interview, you have talking points if you have co-curricular. If you have nothing in your co-curricular, you don't have anything to talk about in your interview. And then what would you, as a fresher, what would you talk in your interview? You don't have work ex.
Yes.
Most probably internship. If you don't have extracurricular, you have nothing to talk about. So there it matters, because in interview you have to say something. You have to, interact with the interviewer, and the interviewer needs to have some questions about you. And their extracurricular activities plays an important role, because it will give you talking points in your interview. So, but as such, it's not like if you don't have extracurricular, you won't get a call from top B schools. It's not like that, but yeah, it gives you talking points. So yeah, it does matter actually. You should focus on extracurriculars too. Yeah.
Yes. There's one more question from Ronak's side. As we all know about the unpredictability of CAT, so there are no reliable sources specifically for the LRDI section. So, sir, how did you prepare for the LRDI section?
LRDI, yeah, gives me nightmares. I scored the least in LRDI. So if you're opting for coaching, if you are taking coaching, then you should not worry too much about sources, because they will provide you enough sources to prepare for LRDI. If you are preparing by yourself, it's really difficult for LRDI, because you don't know like how much to practice, what to practice, and stuff like that. But if you're asking if you're preparing by yourself and how do you prepare for DILR, I would say there are some YouTube channels, for example, Elite Grade, iQuanta, LRDI Masters. These are the some channels that I can Rota. These are some channels for LRDI that I can remember. Plus, focus on mocks. Like if you give 20 mocks, every mock will have 4 to 5 sets, and you have already practiced 100 sets there only. So focus on mocks. Like whatever set that is there, even if you're not able to solve it, don't worry about it. Just watch the solutions, try to do it afterwards, and just do that, and that's how you can develop your LRDI. Like keep practicing LRDI 2 sets, 3 sets every day during its preparation. Yeah.
Rashika has a query on how many hours of daily study is required to crack CAT, and is an online course an important factor for preparation?
This is a very subjective thing, I would say. How many hours is needed? It's a very subjective thing. For some, it's 5 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours. I don't know. For some, it's 2 hours, 1 hours. So it depends on your capability, your skills. How good are you at understanding or grasping things? How good is your quant or English skills? So that is a very subjective thing. I won't say. I can say for myself, but I can't say it for yourself. I can't tell it for yourself that how much do you need, because I don't know your skills. You should know, and that usually happens when you're preparing, that you always set a target that whatever. If yeah, the coaching wala part, as I already mentioned, coaching is important. So if you are taking coaching, then they'll give you some you have some deadlines, like they taught you this and you have to complete this much of modules by this time, by this date. So then you prepare your study plans according to that. Like how much do you need actually? You should check for yourself that, do I need 2 hours per day to complete this? Do I need 5 hours per day to complete this? So that's a very subjective thing. It depends on you. You set targets and you see in how what time are you able to do it. That's
Yes,
very
sir.
subjective. Yeah. I hope I answered the question.
Yes, sir. We have one question from Ashish Mishra. What comes after the CAT score, and what's the whole process of selection?
Yeah. So to be very honest, I would like to say this. Like when I was preparing for MBA school, I thought that CAT is the biggest. CAT is the biggest thing that you need to clear to get into B school. After I cleared CAT, I was like, no, GDPI is the thing. GDPI so much. What they will ask, this preparation, that preparation, I don't know, man. So it is always like that. Now I'm in B school. I was like, yeah, वो सब तो easy था. The 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 toughest task is surviving in a B school. So it is like that only. So you have. So these are a joke, so don't worry about it. So after CAT, yeah. So after CAT, you would so see in CAT you fill the application kind of like you enter your academic scores and stuff like that. And when you get a CAT score, you while filling the CAT application, you also select all the IMs that you want to get a call from. So now after the CAT scores, the IMs will send you a call based on your CAT score and whatever marks you entered on in the CAT application, and then you'll get a call. So it's usually around January 2nd week, January 3rd week, you'll get calls from the top IMs. So they'll give you a call. Call basically means a mail. So for example, let us say IM Bangalore gives you a call. So then you have to fill an application for IM Bangalore. They'll send you the application link in the mail. You have to fill the application form. You can update your marks. Like, new results are published. Then you can update your marks and you have to, complete an application. Basically for IM Bangalore, you have to write SOP or statement of purpose.
Yes.
Like why do you want to do MBA? It's around a page or two. You have to write it. And for IM Bangalore interview, I can say that it's very much based on the SOP. For every IM, you have to write something why you want to do MBA, extracurricular, and stuff like that. Yeah. Sorry. So yeah. So for every IM, you have to fill that application. You have to upload your documents, whatever documents that are relevant. For example, 10th, 12th, and all those certificates. And you have to fill that application. Like for different IMs, there are different questions. For IM Bangalore, you have to write an SOP, why you want to do an MBA and stuff like that. For IM Indore, you had to write these stuffs only. Why MBA? Most of the questions are same. If you prepare for one IM, you can just edit it for others. It's not much task, but you have to write one answer. Yeah, this is important thing. After CAT, if you're scoring good marks in CAT, focus on SOP and why I want to do an MBA answer. You have to write, and then you submit the application. Then you'll get an interview date. You have the interview, and then after for some, it's like this year the interviews were online. So for some IMs you had written test. For some IMs you didn't. For Ahmedabad and Bangalore you had the written ability test. You have to write an essay, and for other IMs you just had interview. So for IM Bangalore, I had VAT or written ability test and interview, and on the basis of VAT and interview, you get selected, you get shortlisted for the admission or whatever. Yeah. So this is the whole process. CAT, fill the application form, give the interview or whatever institute asks you to, and you get selected based on the score. Was he asking this? Was he
Yes.
asking us? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thanks, sir. That cleared a lot, actually.
Yeah. So that
Okay.
is the process.
We are done with the questions now. So one curious thing which we had in our mind was that what differences are you finding in the environment of BIT and an IIM, and how well are you adapting to it?
Yeah, it's a lot of difference. To be very honest. This college is a very deadline-oriented college. You have to follow strict deadlines, and there are deadlines every next day. It's like, so today is a deadline for something, tomorrow is a deadline for another thing. It was not in BIT. It's pretty chill in BIT.
Yes,
It's
sir.
definitely not chill here. So you have deadlines. First is that is from the academic point of view. Second, from the campus life point of view, say BIT, you had people from Jharkhand only, but here you have people from various states, all states over India. So you get to interact with more people. So that really improves your personality. You get to know their culture and stuff like that. That is a plus point, of course, networking. And talking about campus life, we have, I can eat Maggie if I want here at night. In BIT, I had to here because nothing available now. Also in BIT, you can enjoy more at the night. It's like campus is free for you. Campus is free for you here also, but you get it. What I'm saying, you enjoy more there.
Yes, sir. Yes.
And more about campus, like I would say, um, that only. And
I guess, sir, the partying scenario is more in Bangalore. You can like party and this whole clubs thing and all.
clubs has in pubs here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like you can go to pubs in Dhanbad also, but yeah,
You have to travel a lot.
yeah. Here also you have to travel. There, Bangalore is a very, that traffic of Bangalore. So
Yes, sir.
it's same only, doesn't matter. But yeah, you party at both places, PIT and IMB too. But yeah, you get to meet a lot of different type of people here, different personalities, very talented people. You would learn a lot. That would improve your personality. That is one thing that you get at IM Bangalore. Plus, yeah, that's it. And you can't miss your classes here.
Yes, sir.
That is also one
It
thing.
does test your management skills.
It does, yeah, it is preparing for your corporate life. This college runs by clock, I would say. In PIT, it didn't really, it was chill. It was like, you get a lot of time at PIT to pursue other stuffs. Here, you have limited time. You would learn time management skills at a management college. Yeah.
Okay, sir. We guess we are done now. Thank you so much, sir, for like granting us some precious time and your valuable guidance.
Thank you so
And
much. Thank you so much for inviting me.
it was an absolute delight having you here, and we would love to engage with you on such sessions further.
Sure. I would love to be here. I love to be here.